Hello and welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta.
I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar in for Cara DeFalco. Thanks for joining us this morning. A looming strike could shut down shipping ports across the East Coast. The International Longshoremen's Association is threatening to strike on October 1st over a dispute with the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents terminal operators and shipping lines. It's a work stoppage that would span state lines and could cause major havoc across the shipping industry, including in New Jersey and New York.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how that ripple effect will happen just in time for the holiday season, especially with shipping and commerce being pretty prevalent and a big part of the economy leading up into the holidays.
Not good.
Well, Hackensack University Medical Center is offering a revolutionary treatment for enlarged prostate. It's an issue that is faced by many men in New Jersey, and there is now some additional hope. Joining us now to tell us about this is Dr. Ravi Munver, Director of Minimally Invasive and Robotic Urologic Surgery at Hackensack University Medical Center. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, what is BPH Awareness Week? And first off, what is BPH or enlarged prostate?
So BPH is a condition of the prostate. It's a benign condition of the prostate where the prostate to grow. It only affects men who have prostates, of course. And as men get older, it can affect a significant amount of men in terms of their urinary symptoms as they get older. And it progresses over the course of their lifetime.
And could you give us an idea of how common this condition is and what the symptoms are?
Yes, so the prostate grows up until puberty, and after puberty, the prostate begins to grow around the age of 25, sort of the late 20s, and it continues to grow through the rest of a man's lifetime. By the time men are 50, over 50% of men between the ages of 50 and 59 have benign prostatic hyperplasia or an enlarged prostate. By the time men hit 60, that number increases to about 70%. By the time men hit 70, that number increases to about percent, and over 90% of men over the age of 80 have this condition.
So you're talking about this new innovative treatment, which we'll touch on in just a bit. But how has this condition been traditionally treated, and what were the risks and side effects for the patient?
So basically, men who have benign prostatic hyperplasia have urinary symptoms, primarily weakened stream, urinary frequency, urinary urgency, maybe waking up several times at night, difficulty emptying their bladder, and things that are really bothersome for men are this sensation of always thinking about their urination and where to find a bathroom and how it affects their daily quality of life. That's when you usually seek treatment. Treatment usually involves either medications or minimally invasive surgical therapies. Medications are great, however, they sometimes don't work and oftentimes they have side effects. When those side effects or the failure of medications to provide symptomatic relief, men will seek surgical options. Now, the gold standard for BPH therapy has been called the TURP procedure, transurethral resection of the prostate. The surgery has been around for over 100 years, has not changed much over time. However, it's associated with a lot of potential side effects. Those side effects can include urinary incontinence. So instead of not being able to empty the bladder, emptying the bladder without having urinary control. It can also affect their sexual function. So they can have ejaculatory function. Furthermore, it can also cause erectile dysfunction. So a lot of other therapies have been invented and developed over the last several decades to have an alternative for men instead of this TURP procedure. However, all of these therapies that are resective therapies, which means they actually remove some of that obstructing, blocking prostate tissue that impedes a man's urination, also are associated with some of these urination, erectile function, or function, or sexual function side effects. Hence, the introduction of a new therapy called aquablation. Aquablation is a transurethral water jet therapy where a catheter is inserted, or a telescope, I should say, is inserted into the urethra with a man being asleep. And instead of using heat energy or cutting tissue out, it uses a high-powered water jet to remove the obstructing tissue so that men can urinate like they were urinating when they were in their teens and in their 20s. Now, the therapy has been around for approximately 7 years. It was FDA approved initially in 2017. This was the first generation system. However, it wasn't until a few years ago where many of the insurers, including Medicare, approved the therapy for payment. Recently, just over a month ago, a brand new second version of the aquablation therapy has been FDA approved. It is called Hydros. And what is really innovative about this therapy is that it is artificial intelligence powered. And what I mean by that is that the technology allows better delineation or characterization of the prostate boundaries and the prostate shape and size, such that we can be more precise in removing exact amount of tissue that we want to remove to create the optimal result. This is the only image guided prostate therapy that we have available to us. So it is fascinating because it allows us to see the prostate in real time with ultrasound. The artificial intelligence portion of the new system allows us to identify the prostate tissue that we want to remove. Then a high power water jet removes the tissue without using any heat energy. And it is fast, it is efficient, and the side effects are significantly diminished. And what I mean by that is, number one, there's almost a 0% chance of urinary incontinence. There's almost a 0% chance of erectile dysfunction. And in about 90% of men, where we plan to preserve their sexual function, we can do so with this therapy. All of the other transurethral therapies, we could not really offer any confidence of preserving sexual function, continence, and erectile function. This is the first transurethral therapy that allows us to do so. So it's very, very exciting.
That is
And
very exciting. Yeah, go ahead, Dina.
and surprisingly, I think it's very, very that Hackensack University Medical Center was the hospital in the world to acquire this new technology. And we performed the first procedure just earlier this month. So
that is
Hackensack
amazing.
Right. As you know, we're a very innovative hospital. We are technologically advanced. We are a robotic mecca for a lot of different procedures. And this is another one of our innovative, robotically controlled, minimally invasive therapies.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Munver, for explaining the new treatments and all of the benefits. We appreciate you coming on and shedding light to this. Where can we catch up with you to find more information?
So you can easily go to the Hackensack University website. There is information on the aquablation therapy, especially with the new hydro system, and they can contact us in our Department of Urology. And myself, being one of those urologists that performs the therapy, we have a number of other urologists that are also performing aquablation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Munver.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Dina, I think it's really important to mention how not only are these, technologies now available right here in our backyard in New Jersey to be able to go right down the road to Hackensack University Health, to one of their healthcare centers in northern New Jersey and around the northern part of the state, but not having to kind of schlep into the city to get these new technologies, these new treatments, where you have to take the whole day off of work or a half a day. It makes it so much more convenient.
Yes,
so much
which
more
only adds to the stress that you're already under when you have to go so far and do that commute. So great to hear that coming right into our own backyard.
It is. Well, a New Jersey Shore lifeguard chair washed up about 100 miles from New Jersey. The chair was found on a beach in Delaware's Fenwick Island. The police department posted a picture of the lifeguard chair, asking people if they can figure out where it came from. It made its way from, get this, ship bottom on LBI all the way to Delaware in pretty good shape. The mystery now is, how did it get into the water?
Interesting. Well, up next, how a New Jersey company is celebrating 90 years in business. Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar along with Mike Favetta. Tinton Falls Mayor Vito Perillo celebrated his 100th birthday on National Centenarians Day, making him potentially the only centenarian mayor in the U.S. Born in 1924, Perillo served in World War II and has witnessed nearly a century of history. In 2017, at the age of 93, he was elected mayor and re-elected in 2020, winning against 3 other candidates.
Wow, good for him. Despite his age, Perillo has continued to serve his community and now faces the decision whether to run for a 3rd term in 2025 when, get this, he'll be 101 years young. Centenarian politicians are rare but not unprecedented. Perillo has been one of New Jersey's oldest elected officials, second to only Millie Shepard, who served on the Ocean Gate Borough Council until she was 99. Doesn't look a day over 80, so glad to see that.
I love the
people of Tinton
energy that
Falls
he
are in good
must
hands.
have. I feel like I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm 40. I'm going to retire. I'm done. Like, can we be done? Very inspiring. Next, New Jersey-based author Robert Skead is launching a new book. The Bat Boy and the Unbreakable Record, middle grade historical fictional novel for ages 8 to 12 and adults too. Robert joins us now.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Robert. Good to see you. So
You
tell
too.
us,
Thanks for having me.
what is the new book about?
Yeah, so it's called The Bat Boy and the Unbreakable Record, and it's about a 12-year-old boy named Richie. And unfortunately, his family comes on some hardship. He's in Cincinnati, and his dad breaks his leg, and Richie, at 12 years old, has to get a job. He applies for different jobs. One he thinks he's applying for is working with wood in a woodworking shop, but what he's really applying for is the job as a bat boy for the Cincinnati Reds. They kind of worded it that way so they would get kids who really needed a job. So he gets the dream job of being the bat boy for the Cincinnati Reds, and through that experience, he gets to befriend Johnny Vandermeer, who is New Jersey's native and Midland Park hometown hero. And Johnny Vandermeer, when he was 23 years old, pitched back-to-back no-hitters for the Cincinnati Reds. So Richie, as the bat boy, gets to experience that from the front seat. And as Johnny Vandermeer's friend, he befriends him and gets to help him achieve what the Cincinnati Post called the greatest feat in the game's history.
Wow. Now, Robert, you were asked by Johnny Vandermeer's best friend, Dick Jeffer, to keep Vandy's legacy alive. Can you tell us the story of how you met Jeffer and how his request impacted your life?
Oh, sure. So back in 1997, I moved into Midland Park with my wife, and Midland Park had a special day that day. They dedicated a memorabilia display that somebody had crafted that was filled with all of Johnny's mementos. And it was called Johnny Vandermeer Day. So I went, met him, got a couple of autographs, one for my father-in-law, one for myself, and just kind of fell in love with the story. He came back to town all the time and would leave balls at the barbershop signed for boys and girls. And then he passed away a little bit after that. And the New York Times had a picture of him with Babe Ruth in his obituary. I saw the picture. I'm like, that's really cool. It needs to be in the display. A gentleman from town, Mr. Jeffer, saw that in the display, asked the library to put him in touch with me. I got him a copy. We quickly became friends. He became like my surrogate grandfather. And before he died at the age of 96, he asked me to keep the memory of his best friend and the record alive. And I pretty much vowed to him to do that. And writing this book that features the tale of his best friend's record was the best way I could do that.
That is such an endearing personal story. Rob, in your opinion, what's the most amazing aspect of Vandermeer's record?
Yeah, well, to pitch one no-hitter is an amazing feat, right? To pitch one in consecutive games, right? So back to back, and then to actually pitch three, we don't think any baseball aficionado doesn't think it's a record that will ever be broken.
Wow, that is amazing. So
That's
I'm
really
wondering,
exciting.
oh, go ahead,
Go ahead,
Mike.
Dina.
Why are there elements of bullying in the storyline?
Yeah, it's interesting. So when I wrote this story, and any kid's story in any book, a character has to have conflict. So in this story, there's conflict between Richie and his friends at school who don't believe he really is the bat boy for the Cincinnati Reds. He's got conflict with the senior bat boy who's kind of tough on him. And at the end of the story, I realized there's really a lot of great direction in this story for kids to learn how to deal with bullying. It wasn't anything I really intentionally did. After the fact, I was like, wow, that's really, really neat how that kind of happened organically. And then certainly, being in the school system where I speak to kids at schools throughout the state of New Jersey with my author visits, I know bullying is a big theme in schools and a big issue. So at the end of the book, we found some great tips for kids to learn how to handle bullying through bullet points, but also they can learn from how the character interacts with other people in the story as well.
And so, Robert, what do you hope is the biggest takeaway from the book?
Yeah, so obviously, as a children's author, you always want the book and the story to be entertaining, right? So that's the first thing. The other thing is I really want kids to read it and come away with the sense that they can fulfill their dreams and goals as well. Johnny Vandermeer achieved something in baseball history that he never dreamed of. And lots of boys and girls around the country want to be softball players and baseball players, and whatever their aspiration is, I want them to feel that it's possible with a lot of hard work and with some good fortune, as Johnny Vandermeer had as well.
So, Rob, do you think the record will ever be broken?
No, I don't.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us this morning. Could you let us know where to find more information about your book?
Oh, sure. So it's available wherever books are sold. Obviously, barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com carry it as well. And you can always go to my website, www.robertskead.com, and discover more information there.
Great. Thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you for having me.
Well, on to some more baseball. Coming up, Yankees legends honor their teammate. Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar along with Mike Favetta. The historic Ocean City Amusement Park, Jillian's Wonderland Pier, will operate its rides for the last time on Sunday, October 13th. Visitors can enjoy the attractions on weekends leading up to that final day, after which the park will permanently close, ending its 94-year run at 600 Boardwalk. Founded in 1929 by David Jillian, the park has remained in the Jillian family ever since. However, on August 9th, park owner and Ocean City Mayor Jay Jillian announced its closure due to economic difficulties. Next, a New Jersey-based company is celebrating 90 years of business. Metropolitan Window Fashions opened their doors in 1934, and now it's run by a third generation. Bruce Heyman, owner of Metropolitan Window Fashion, joins us now. Good morning, Bruce.
Hi, Dina.
Thank you so much for being in studio with us. This is really exciting. What a great way to celebrate. So your grandfather, Philip Heyman, founded the business in 1934 in Plainfield. So tell us about how the business changed over the decades.
Well, I think two big changes are motorized shades and the fabrics, the wealth of fabrics that we have now. So you're probably too young to remember crank windows in your car, but we like to use that as an analogy for motorized window coverings, which is now half of our sales. So, and motorized window coverings are not just about convenience and the fact that you shouldn't have to get out of bed to raise and lower your shades, but it also help with energy savings because we sell energy saving products, but if the shades are in the wrong position, you're not maximizing your energy efficiency. And the other thing is the fabrics. We just have 70,000 fabrics. My grandfather had, a couple hundred fabrics to choose from. We have 70,000 beautiful fabrics from all over the world.
So now you're third generation owner. How did you get into the family business?
I did not go into the business right out of college. So actually I worked in New York City for about 8 years. I was in the travel industry. And when I did come to work for my dad, it worked out better, I think, because the employees respected me. I was coming in not as the boss's kid, but as someone who had real world experience. And I think that helped my dad's relationship with me because, we respected each other in my 8 years outside the business. I owned a business, I bought a business, I sold a business. So I had some real world experience to bring, and I respected what he had accomplished. So we had a great working relationship from the day I walked in there to 9 years later when he retired.
That's great to hear. There's something special about working with family and continuing on a legacy. And I'm guessing that things have changed over the years in terms of window coverings. You mentioned the original inspiration was cranking the window
right.
there. So how has the landscape changed over the years?
It's just, people think that, I can just go to the store and buy one window covering, but it's really a layered approach now. And so we consider the shades and blinds to be the privacy layer, privacy and light control. We consider draperies to be the design layer. And in both of those elements, shades and blinds or draperies bring insulation, they bring sound absorption depending on what products you buy, but they really need to be in combination to maximize energy efficiency and also to bring a sense of style and a beautiful aesthetic to your home.
Now, you've been in this for a number of years. What advice would you give other business owners who hope for a fraction of Metropolitan's longevity?
Well, you're going to work hard, and there's going to be a lot of stress. And I think that, listen, be honest. You have to be honest every day. You have to respect everybody. You have to respect employees. You have to respect customers. You have to respect vendors. Listen. It helps to have a partner at home who's going to listen to your complaints when you come home. And I think that. It's also important to have an escape because you're going to be thinking about your business every minute of the day. So it's important to have, whether it be a hobby or a place to go, something to escape, to get away from it all, because you really need to kind of relax a little bit so you can get back to work the next day with a fresh approach.
I love that 360 approach, not just business, but business, family, and work and play is important. So speaking of play, is there anything special you're doing to celebrate this milestone?
Absolutely. So it's our 90th anniversary, so we're having a $9,000 Hunter Douglas gift certificate contest. So Hunter Douglas is our big vendor. We're giving away a $9,000 gift certificate, so that's one contest we're having. You can find that on our website, windowfashions.com. And we're also having a customer longevity contest. Who's been shopping there the longest? I mean, I know many people have shopped in my dad's store in the 60s, but is there anybody out there who shopped in my grandfather's store in the 40s and 50s?
Wow.
And finally, ripping off ESPN's 30 for 30 idea, we are shooting 90 videos for 90 years. So we're celebrating 90 years with 90 short videos on our social, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can follow us. I think we're up to about 36, and we've got 45 that have been shot. And so we'll have 90 videos to capture the 90-year history.
That's amazing. You certainly have a lot for customers to look forward to. I got to sign up for that $9,000 sweepstakes there.
You can do that.
Bruce, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and congratulations on such a wonderful milestone.
Thank you, Dina.
Up next, we talk to a New Jersey author about his latest book for children.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta here with Dina, Deleasa, Gonsar, in for Cara DeFalco. Yankees icons like Goose Gossage, Bucky Dent, and Roy White reunited for a special evening and a shared admiration for the legacy of their teammate Thurman Munson. On New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo has the story.
We're here at the Venetian in Garfield celebrating the first annual New York Legends Gala honoring Thurman Munson. Yankees from the 1970s Bronx Zoo days came out to support amazing Garden State causes. Let's check it out. Yankees legends like Goose Gossage, Greg Nettles, Bucky Dent, and Roy White reunited for a special evening filled with stories, laughter, and a shared admiration for the legacy their teammate Thurman Munson left behind.
Thurman and I were very close. Our lockers were right next to each other in Yankee Stadium. So Thurman was the first guy that I saw. I knew where the best restaurants were in the American League. So when he wanted to have a good dinner, he would say, "Roy, where are we going to eat tonight?" So proceeds from this event will go to Thurman Munson Foundation for scholarships. Part of the proceeds will also go to my foundation. And we help kids go to college. And we also added to give to autism research.
It's an honor to be here. You know, Thurman was a great player, great teammate, great captain, and it's a great venue, and we're excited to be here.
At 45 years later, after losing Thurman, the fact that the fans want to come out and celebrate his life and tell me how much they love him and where they were the day we lost him, I'm their connection to him. And I guess because we share love for him, I feel like it's coming home.
With WFAN's Keith McPherson as the event MC, guests were treated to an evening of nostalgia.
These guys are fan favorites, and there's just an older generation of Yankee fans that adore them. So to be a part of this, even though I didn't live in that time, it's special.
As the night closed, the legends in attendance had thoughts about this current Yankees team, who are gearing up for another postseason run.
All the teams are pretty evenly matched this year. So they're going to have to be on their best in order to get to that World Series. But I like the way they've been playing lately. Pitching is going to be the key.
I think they're going to peak at the right time. You know, I said all along, before when they were struggling, that they're going to put it together and make a run at the end, and they did.
A night that honored one of the greatest to ever wear pinstripes, brought legends together, and raised funds for charity. Thurman Munson's legacy, both on and off the field, lives on. Reporting for On New Jersey, I'm Lisa Marie Falbo.
Oh, what a great event. Well, thank you for watching the New Jersey Morning Show.
That's right. We'll be back next week. Stay tuned for more news, weather, and talk right after this.